The illegal elbow.
Elbow techniques. This is the elbow. An elbow from here. I'll throw the elbow.
Yeah, the illegal elbows.
All right, people, we're back, man. Illegal Elbow Radio. Another exciting episode for you guys, man. This is Brian from Illegal Elbow Radio, Illegal Elbow on Twitter.
And this is Dan from MMA Aftermath on Facebook and Twitter.
Okay, people, we are back on this episode, and we are going over this weekend's
Double Dish
UFC card. And yeah, it's a little oversaturated and watered down.
Lackluster.
Yep. But Brian, what's this? What's the Latifi and Blachowicz fight? What is that? The main event on the prelims, or is that a main card fight? I'm confused.
Well, if you go back to, which a lot of people have really on message boards have really talked about it a lot. They're like, why would you put this better fight way down here on this area here where, you know, the prelim card is just getting done? It's like, why would you put that fight way down there? It's to keep you enticed through all these fights that nobody knows anything about. And, you know, there's a shitload of newbies, and it's basically a Bellator or a fucking Strikeforce Challengers card inside the UFC. So what they're basically doing, you know, Dana White, in so many words, you know, some guy asked him, he's like, well, I found it kind of strange that you put Uriah Faber and Alex Caceres in the area that you did. He's like, well, they were mainly the main event of the prelims. So Dana White said that himself.
Yeah, we bitched about it being a disrespect to Faber too. Remember?
Right. Yeah. No, I do remember that, and it's like that's what that led up to, and it's like Dana White came right out and said it. Well, that's the main event of the prelims. So now we got a main event of the fucking prelims now. So they're trying to string you all the way through all these shit fights that, granted, you might not be paying for them, but you're still paying for them because you only get them through pay TV. So it's still bullshit, man. Nobody fool themselves, okay? You're still paying for it. It's still on pay TV, whether you get on Fight Piss, or fucking Fuck Pass, or whatever the fuck it's called. Don't fool yourself, man. You're still paying for it, whether you get on Fuck Piss or you're on pay TV. Lackluster ass, oversaturated cards, full of fucking fights. I mean, this weekend is full. It's a card full of. It's one.
Who's who and what's what.
Right. It's one decent main card is all it is. It's 5 fights that people would really want to see. The rest of it, I don't want to disrespect the fighters, but it's like, guys, man, it's good names hooked up with nobodies.
Yep.
Underwear fucking dumpster fire, and we're going to talk about this show is we're going to cover this entire weekend in 5 fights. That's it, man. That is fucking it.
Because that's it's you really have. Okay, what's this one is in Stockholm, Sweden, and the other one's in fucking Canada. Okay, Stockholm, Sweden. Now let me see. 3 p.m. fucking Eastern on a Saturday.
Right.
During college football, or spending time with your family, or are you gonna watch UFC from 3 o'clock all the way to 12 o'clock? Okay, now I'm trying.
They want you on the fucking couch all day long, man.
Yeah. Hey, can I get a fucking underwear change here? Because my balls are sweating. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, my balls are sweating over here. I've been sitting in this fucking leather couch for fucking hours now, watching a bunch of nobodies fight each other.
I will be excited to see Gunnar Nelson fucking, you know, Rick. Don't get me wrong, man. Rick Story, always a puncher's chance, always looking good. You know, but it's like, I'm sorry, Gunnar Nelson. He's too powerful of a camp right now. This guy's training sessions.
Good jab.
Yeah, I mean everything about this guy is just top notch.
Well, you want to digress too, because
exactly, Gunnar Nelson is
a full breakdown of this fight right now.
What's that?
You don't want to do a full breakdown of this fight right now before we get to the.
Well, gotcha. You know, you're right. But yeah, I'll digress. But before we get into that, we're going to jump into a lower fight, which UFC and some other sites have pinned this to be the prelim. Well, not UFC, but other sites have pinned this to be the prelim main event, basically, which is Ilir Latifi taking on Jan Blachowicz. They got all their prelims listed, but they don't. All they do is they mention all the top names in the main card. I guarantee you, all these people in the main card are not going to be in the main card because they're going to switch them around to make it to where it's like 1 fight, 2 fight, 3 fight, good looking fight, 1 fight, 2 fight, 3 fight, good looking fight. You know what I'm saying? Like a crowd catcher. And then you go another fight or two, or fight or so, and then you get another great fight. You know, that seems to be the road that they're going. And you know, because Dennis Seaver taking on a virtual nobody, a virtual undefeated nobody, which I give the guy some credit. He's undefeated. It's great, man. It's fantastic. But it's like we've seen undefeated fighters come in here before, man. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
Blachowicz, you go to his, like I said, his fucking his MO, his records, and all they have is Ilir Latifi coming up. They don't have all his other fucking fights, dude. Like I said, you can put other organization. You don't have to put the organization's name, but at least let the people know who they're trying to invest their fucking time in when they come on your website to see who this guy is, to see if I'm going to tune in at this time before the main event to see Jan Blachowicz versus fucking Ilir Latifi. Right. But we go on there, we look at his record, guess what? We see nothing. Fuck it. Nope. Can't do it.
Ilir Latifi's taking on a fucking complete fucking newbie.
No.
Yeah,
hey, who'd you fight? We don't know. Fuck, I don't know.
How fucking stupid is that? How stupid and one-sided and self-glory is that? I mean, really, that's fucking ridiculous. I mean, let's take a look at Nicholas Backstrom. Wasn't he a player for the Detroit Red Wings? I mean,
you might be thinking of Holmstrom.
Well, true, but I mean, it sounds awful lot like a fucking.
I hear you. I'm just
it sounds no, exactly. You know where I'm at, bro. It sounds a lot like a fucking hockey player. But I mean, you know, not dissing him, you know, but just because we don't know who he is doesn't mean he's not, you know, good at what he does, whatever. But it's like
ordering up a fucking large Coke, and you get your large Coke, but it's so filled with ice that at the end of it, you just have a bunch of ice after about 5 sips.
Yeah, I was just gonna say 4 sips and you're done, man.
Yeah, 4 sips, you're fucking done.
Troy Young.
I'm gonna be looking at about 5 fights, and I'm done. So, and I'm not tuning in early for any of the other shit. So
no, it's
just.
I mean,
you can spend time with your family up to like what 6, 7 o'clock, then tune into the first shit. See the
Well, no, you better be there for 3 p.m. or you're going to be. Oh no, 6 o'clock. Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, what I'm saying.
6 o'clock ish. Yeah, you might be right.
You want to catch the fucking main event, yeah. And then after that, you can tune in right around fucking 10. But speaking of that, I had fucking Ilir Latifi taking Blachowicz. I don't know who the fuck this guy is. Ilir Latifi fucking putting the sledgehammer down. Who do you got?
Latifi and Blachowicz. Let me get to that page, man. To be honest with you, man, let me throw that out there real quick because I want to take a look at this Jan Blachowicz because I know I've seen the fucking name before. The guy's 17-3, so it's not like he just arrived. But like I said earlier, man, my fucking computer's slow and it's pissing me off. Okay, Jan Blachowicz, 31 years old. He's Polish, dude. He's from Poland. Taking on Ilir Latifi. He's beat Goran Relic, which we know who Goran Relic is. Houston Alexander, Mario Miranda. I don't know much about Mario Miranda, but that was in
World Series of Fighting?
No, the last 3 were in KSW. So this guy might. You never know, dude. This is in Poland, which I don't believe they have any kind of standards when it comes to.
Sanctions, yep.
Yeah. So that this guy could be found on roids anytime soon, or whatever he can shoot up. He beat Suka Joe in 2011, lost to Suka Joe about 6 months earlier. And then in between that, he beat Tony Voltanen, which, they're all KSW. Every part of this guy is KSW except for WAFC, which was 2010. Other than that, man, this guy's been in KSW since the get-go. But he's 17-3, so you got to give the guy a little bit of a chance, see what he's made of. But hopefully he's not on some kind of PEDs or whatever, because I know in Poland they don't give a shit what you're doing. KSW, they don't give a shit what you're doing in terms of
They might be sponsored by TRT Crunch.
Or HGH Crunch, for that matter. I mean, shit. You've talked about that cereal, dude. I mean, you've heard of a lot of fighters.
Chael Sonnen was fucking eating that shit every morning.
Dude, Chael Sonnen was, he was like the poster child for HGH Crunch, yeah. Big time. I don't know if that's Kellogg's or not, but no. I don't think Kellogg's wouldn't be part of that, man. I don't think so. But anyhow, man, it's a decent card, man. If you're a diehard fan, it's a decent card, man. Really, it's not bad. You can't be too pissed about it. But at the same time, wait a minute. What am I talking about? If you're a fair-weathered fan, I should say, and you have no idea who anybody is, you should love this card. But if you're a really diehard fan, you know what kind of bullshit this is. It's a card where you're excited to see it for 2, maybe 3 fights. And if you want to jump into it, man, jump into the second fight. That makes
either that, or we can go right to fucking Gunnar Nelson and Rick Story. To tell you the truth.
Yeah, we may as well. I'm going to go ahead and pay a little respects. Holloway, Corsani, I like them both, man. I think they're very good fighters, and they're well-known guys. I'm not going to pay any disrespects to them. They're good. Max Holloway has shown a lot lately, so I expect him to put on a good performance for this night. Same as Corsani, you know what I mean? He's looked really good. I'm going to weigh in the area of a Max Holloway. Get it done, man. He can do it. So, going in, Gunnar Nelson, Rick Story. Rick Story's the kind of guy that it's like, you know what? Puncher's chance, he could wreck anybody's fucking shin. But he hasn't seen a Gunnar Nelson. To me, a Gunnar Nelson is a whole new realm, and he's undefeated. A whole new idea what Rick Story's going to be facing, in my opinion. And if Rick Story can pull it off, it would be just about next to amazing for him to derail a Gunnar Nelson. Right now, Gunnar Nelson, number 12. Rick Story's not numbered. So, Gunnar Nelson is a lot less known than a Rick Story, and he's already number 12. So, which UFC probably needed that. So, UFC probably needed him to be numbered in order to get him, believable as a fucking top fighter. Which they don't really have to do that. He's already made a name for himself. So, no thanks to UFC. You don't need to fucking, tell us who's who. We already know who's who. If you're anybody of a fucking fan, we don't need you to tell us who's who. We already know who Gunny is. Thanks for the number 12, but you can shove the number 12 up your fucking ass. We know who Rick Story is. We know who Gunnar Nelson is. So, we're going to see the fight. And say your piece on it, Dan.
No, Gunnar Nelson actually his last 2. This is his second fight in basic. Now it's his hometown. Before it was right in his hometown's backyard, because I think he was on the same card as Conor McGregor over in Ireland there. So he was right out the back door. It was his fucking hometown here. I might be wrong, but I think he did fight over in the either United Kingdom or Ireland or something like that, but
no, I think you're right. Yeah,
and
it was those areas. Yeah. Yep.
He really hasn't had to leave his area there. And Gunnar Nelson put up against a Rick Story, and Rick Story, if you really look at his resume, he's fought more named opponents. That's for damn sure. But a Gunnar Nelson, his style, Yeah, he hasn't been going against guys that are